Hi everyone, it's Tera Maxwell from TeraMaxwell.com.
And Aj Maxwell.
And we're here in Escazú, Costa Rica, and we just picked up our kids at the airport last night. It's been an awesome reunion, and it really brought up this idea of why you should leave your kids. There's many, I talked to so many, especially women who have the opportunity to up-level or take that next step in their life, but their biggest fear is leaving their kids behind. And they can't figure out how it's possible, how to manage it. And I'm here to share with you, first of all, I'll just tell our story. So we didn't share this earlier because just for our kids' safety. But our kids were...
Hey, Rock.
Hey, Rock. Send you lots of love. We sent our kids to the United States to stay with their grandparents for the past, actually for 4 weeks, which I don't recommend 4 weeks. That was way too long.
Too long, yeah.
3 weeks was okay. We have 3 sets. Hey, Rock, yes, owning being a king and queen. There were, 3 weeks was good, but they went to stay with 3 sets of grandparents. And it was actually, it was hard. There were some challenges, but I have seen our children really up-level. Our oldest child is 13 years old, and she really learned how to take on the responsibility of being the eldest.
Hey, Jenny.
Actually, she started praying. And it was something that we've been talking about for a while. And during this past month, she started praying to ask for support from God because her younger siblings were not listening to her. She said that the prayer didn't really work to make her siblings more obedient, but it did give her a lot more calm and peace. Nice. And so I was really happy because it's so important. Number one is to have our connection to God, however that is. So, and I see so many moms especially that use their kids, and maybe some of you can relate, they use their kids and they use their spouse as an excuse not to step into the highest version of yourself. And the truth is, when you do that, you're being selfish. You're being selfish. Many of you are wanting to play God. That you have this desire, this desire to be needed and to feel important, and so you're not willing to let go of control. And Lori says, great work, you two. Yes, yeah, time away from your 4-year-old. Actually, what happens is when we leave, when we take that action, we give others and our family the opportunity to step up. And so whether it's a spouse, I know there's been times when I've gone on trips, like I went to Bali, and even earlier on in our marriage, and it allowed AJ to step into being the dad, and so but often we think like our partner can't handle it, and that's not. We deprive the people that we love of those opportunities because it really comes from a need to control. And that doesn't come from love, right? And so,
well, and
yeah.
It's really a form of self-sabotage because you become this martyr, and everything has to revolve around you being there.
Yeah.
And you actually become, resentful. Yeah. And you don't even realize it. You take on this mantle, and sometimes taking a little break at that space, you see yourself a little differently. You see your loved ones a little differently.
Yeah.
And for us, this experience with the grandparents, they've had just these amazing opportunities to be with their grandchildren and see them in a different way because they are the patriarchs of the family. We're gone, so the kids have to listen differently to the grandparents and interact
different dynamics. And what's been awesome is that our 3 children became a unit. Because often, if any of you have kids, you know that as they get older, they all have their friends. Yeah, there's Jace. Do you want to say Jace and Milena? Would you like to share that? What was the biggest gift you learned on your trip to the United States, away from your parents? No. Okay. Well, we'll share. No coercion. Yeah, no coercion here.
They loved it, but they wanted to be with us.
Yeah, and it also gave them a greater appreciation for just appreciation for all that we do. I noticed that sometimes kids get a sense of entitlement as parents because we try to do everything for them, and then when you go away, they realize like, hey, it's not just, it's just not a free-for-all.
Hey, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Renee.
Send you lots of love. Renee, can't wait to see you
Supernovas.
here in Costa Rica. And so, are you being selfish? And does it come from a need for you trying to control? Often when we step away, like energetically what happens, we think that the people that we love can't live without us. And especially if you're a helicopter parent, that's not how I operate. I believe in teaching our children how to be independent and giving them the tools so that because they're sentient beings. And so if we're doing everything for them, how can they learn? How can you do all these things for them and then expect when they're 18 years old and you send them off to college that they can figure it out by themselves? That's actually how you set them up to make really poor choices. The more you give them opportunity to make choices on their own and make mistakes. And fail when
or learn. It's more learning.
Make mistakes when the costs aren't so great, right? They're not going to go to jail. They're not going to get pregnant yet. And so you give them those small opportunities to make choices and make mistakes so that they learn, and it's really important. So we wanted to share about that because we've seen, I know AJ, he went away on a transformational retreat for 5 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. And it allowed me to kind of really appreciate all that he does for our family, whether it's things break in the house and I don't usually take care of that in the jungle, and it's a lot harder. It's not like you just call someone to come. And so it allows us to exercise that muscle of independence. So energetically, when we step back, Stefan says, do you live in Costa Rica? Yes. Yeah, you can see here we're in Escazú right now. So this is a city.
This is the Beverly Hills.
This is the Beverly Hills. This is when we want to get back into the matrix. When we want to dip back into the matrix, we come here. Do our shopping, play laser tag, go see a movie if we want to be programmed in the matrix. And then we're going back. We're going back today.
House,
so, energetically what happens, you step out and you allow others to step up. And the other thing is, for some of you, especially when it comes to, for us, when we leave, it's for a reason. It's because we're here to Uplevel. We're taking that next step in our journey. We don't typically leave for a vacation, although sometimes as a couple you can do that because it also allows you to Uplevel, right?
Yeah.
When you unify. Sure. One of the things that's been really important for us, earlier on, our kids were everything was about the kids. And
what's so awesome too, kids are just so amazing. So
yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in that.
And then there was a time when, our relationship, the passion and all of that, we hadn't been feeding it. And so we were actually doing a really big disservice. And our kids now know, we went to Ibiza this year. Last year we went to, where did we go?
Cancun.
And then we went to Greece together. And we actually, without even saying it, the kids get a message from us that our love and our passion, that this unit is number one. That what we create together is more important than them, and actually that gives them that feeling of safety and security. And so that's also really important. And so often, especially for some of you, if you ever come up against, you have this feeling like this, something's the next step for you. Maybe it's going to an event, maybe it's coming to one of our retreats in Costa Rica or some other program, and you're afraid to leave your kids because you can't figure it out. You can't figure out how you're going to manage. Maybe you don't really believe that your spouse can handle it. And what I invite you to do is to problem solve. When you start to live in the solution, Corey said, hi, so I don't know if I say your name right. It says, hi from Raleigh. Hi, thanks for joining us. What happens is, you're actually believing that others can't really handle it. And when you live in the solution, whether it's asking friends to step up, we have some really amazing friends here in Costa Rica, and our kids got to stay at their house, and it's just because it's really being open to receiving support, and it also allows us to forge deeper connections with the people we love when we're open to receiving support.
Yeah, it's how you scale your life, and we see that a lot in business leaders too, entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
It's the same pattern that they have, controlling everything, and I have to do it myself, and
not trusting your team, and trying to do it all yourself. And the thing is, when I say it's selfish, is when you have an opportunity to up level and you know it's the next step, when you take that step, this is how you manifest abundance. It's just how what happens is you actually are stepping through a doorway into that next version of yourself. This is how you create a new reality. And what happens is you come back, your vibration is higher. You've learned things, you're more independent. There's things that will happen when you take that next step, and then your whole family benefits from that vibration, from the person that you're becoming. And so when you use your kids or a spouse as an excuse not to up level, you're depriving them of that. And then you guys you stay in this stuck loop, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. So we just wanted to, we're so happy. It's been, I feel so complete having our kids back. I feel so much more grounded.
Yeah.
There was just, maybe some of you might be able to relate. It just felt like something was missing. And so we're kind of on cloud 9 right now. We're back. We're going to go play some laser tag. And but we're sending you so much love. But I just wanted to share this message and invite you to ask yourself, what is that next step for you? Danny's sending us lots of love, sending you lots of love back. What's that next step for you to up level? And if it requires you stepping away and leaving your kids and spouse, I invite you to write down, like, how is that possible? Who could you ask? What other support can you invite in? And live in that possibility. Don't live in the box. Don't live in this thing like it has to be this way, because there are infinite solutions. And when we're open, when we're asking God, when we're asking the divine, you'll find the solutions. And sometimes it might look differently than how you might expect.
Yeah, well, I think self-awareness is so key, right? And also observing the emotions that come up. I think it's really powerful.
Yeah.
And as Tera said, setting that course, based on that. But
yeah.
observe the emotions when something you want to go do something.
Yeah.
What's coming up for you and why, and really kind of dig into it.
And here's another thing: do not ask your kids or your spouse permission to up level. You never ask your kids and spouse for permission. You ask for permission from yourself, and you ask for permission from your connection to the divine. Because when you ask for permission from others, it's actually setting yourself up for sabotage. It's setting yourself up to play small. Because
it is a form of self-sabotage.
Yeah, you make a decision and you ask for support. There's a big difference from that. We have one of our clients who's coming out to the retreat has a child with special needs, and it can be challenging, especially when we say, okay, we're going to make this decision, and it can bring up all sorts of triggers and everything. And we've got to live in that energy and trust that every human being has everything that they need. And sometimes, like, if we cater to the trigger, if we cater to that feeling of lack and everything, it all kind of creates this unraveling. So there's just ways that you can shift around this, and we just wanted to share this with you, because what I know is that you each deserve to step into that next version of yourself. You are each powerful, powerful creators, and it's time. It's time. It's time to up level. So send you lots of love, and we'll see you next when we're back to our beautiful paradise in Nasara. And remember, you can absolutely live your dream now.
Awesome. Pura Vida.